Hello and welcome back to the channel. If I were to ask what's one common item that every outdoor person, hunter, fisherman, or anybody, any enthusiast that's being outside or spending some time outdoor should have, what would be your answer? For me, a good quality knife is something that everybody should have and should own one, especially if you're outdoors. Whether it's just a regular pocket knife or survival knife or some kind of cutting tool. As we have seen in the movies, knife comes a long way, whether you're cutting branches or skinning animals or using it as a spear and things like that. So one of the things that should always be in your toolkit. And to keep knives sharp is as important as well. So picking a quality knife and then making sure you keep up with the edge, so when time comes, it's ready to go. So for that, you need to know how to sharpen knives. So throughout my life I've struggled with sharpening my knives. Usually my dad did it, and using a regular whetstone, and he was really good at it, and he still does most of my knife sharpening until I discovered the Worksharp sharpeners, because the biggest issue that I always had is maintaining the edge and at an angle. I've tried things like these; they work, but the biggest problem is even with the guide, you have to have a really steady hand in order to maintain that. And for a newbie like me, who doesn't have a lot of experience with these things, I usually end up either not making it sharp enough, or just making it worse than it was. So after doing some research, I came across this Elite kit from Worksharp. As you guys saw, I used to own this as well. It's been working well for every now and then. But for more hardcore work where you need to maintain or create an edge, needed something better. So I ended up getting this. So this is a long-term review, but I just want to show, since I have it and I've been using for almost a year now, what it comes with, just to give an idea before we talk about how my experience has been. So it comes with this Elite kit packaging, comes with a very nice case, and comes with your different sharpeners, different cores. Actually, let's look at the box, so we'll give you a more better idea. So this particular kit includes your sharpening traces, sharpening base, block, and main things are the abrasive rods where you use it to sharp and hone your knife, and then the carrying case that I showed you. So pretty neat packaging. So you can use it for pocket knife, hunting knife, kitchen knife, and even serrated knives. I've tried doing that. So one advantage of this is it basically gives you multiple angles. So unlike the regular tools that we have, like this one, this is stuck at 20 degree angle. So you can only sharp knives that are 20-degree angle, or you keep everything as that. But here you have an option that you can go from 15 to 30 degrees. So depending on what kind of knife you're sharpening, you can have different angles, and that way you can use just this one tool to sharpen all your knives, whether it's a kitchen knife or your hunting knives. So like I was saying, so these are the abrasive rods for different cores. I don't know if you can see, it might be too light. So it's 400, 320, and 220 grids is basically for creating new edge, as you can see. And then you have something a little finer. You have 800, 600, and then you have the stone or ceramic for final touches, and then you have the leather for honing. As you can see, it's been used quite a bit, so it's been roughed out. But you can buy that solution from, or I don't know what is it called, liquid type thing that you can put in from Amazon to rejuvenate it. I put on some of it because my original one got really bad. So that's the sharpening part of things, and this is where the magic happens, the base and your clamp. So the way you assemble it is basically take it like that. It goes on the back, this, and then it just snaps in place. This one goes up front right here. Nothing else in the box, so it does come with a guide. Shows you how to assemble it. What I found really helpful is this angle guide. So it tells you what should be the angle of your knives when you're sharpening outdoor knives, kitchen knives, and general purpose knives. And this gives you some techniques of how to utilize this contraption, and then most importantly, which grit do you use. Like I was telling you, so 220, 320, 400, 600, 800, and then you have by the fine ceramic for honing, and then leather for finishing and polishing. So it just gives you some details about how to use and when to use each of these. So if I'm building a completely new edge, I usually start around 320, unless it's a completely broken knife or I'm basically redoing it all together, basically building a new angle. I will start with something like 220. Otherwise, 320 is more than plenty if you're redoing the edge. Otherwise, if you're just sharpening, go with 800 or 600. I usually start with around 800 if it's not too bad. If it's really bad, then probably around 600, and then go through that. As you can see, these are different tri-abrasive with abrasive rods. So basically use the word tri-abrasive. Okay, that's that. So once you have this contraption set up like this, say I have my kitchen knife, some unknown Walmart stuff. So what you do is you loosen this up, make sure it's straight, and then you tighten it back up like that. Then you select your angle right here. More important thing. So whether you do 20, 25, or in between if you want something more exotic. So for kitchen knives, I usually do 20. If you look at their reference guide, they say kitchen Western style is 20, but for outdoor knives they have multiple 20, 25. So I've done 20 and 25. So I've not ever used 30, but I prefer 25. It just keeps it better, because especially if you're using for hunting, it's not very delicate that you will ruin your knife, and it gives you plenty of sharpness as well. So once you have this contraption set, in this case, let's say my knife is already sharpened, so I'll just make sure I select whichever one I want to use, and then it locks it in. So once it's locked, in this case I'm just going to hold my knife, so I'm going to put the ceramic one, and this thing right here is magnetic. So you do this, it snaps in, and then you have these rubber grommets right here, which gives you how much motion you need to have depending on the size of the knife. So I have it set it right now at the bottom because I was using it on a big knife, but for the small one you don't need much more than that. So the way I do it, I just keep it like that, so that way I have it perpendicular, and I just do it small strokes like that. You can do either 5, 10, depending on how many you want to do or how bad the knife is. In this case I just did 3 because I've already sharpened it. And once you have done this, you just notice that this is a white dot right up here, which tells you which side you're on. You press this button on the back right here, and then just flip it like this, and then do the same motion right here. So here, as you can see, you can go larger stroke if you have a bigger knife. Just make sure that you're not putting any weight on it, so that way it's sharpening by itself. If you press it, then mistake I was doing is when I was pressing, if I put force, then it bends the knife itself, and then yeah, angle doesn't stay the same. So once you are not getting any resistance, that means it's sharp. Move this around. In this case, then I'm going to just do a little bit of polish right here, the green one. And this one, you got to make sure you don't go up like that, otherwise it'll cut that. So if you can see the signs, some of them, I did that initially, and that just ruins that. So make sure you're doing it in one way only, which is up and down, not down and up. Flip it around. Up. And do the same thing right here. So you can do either go from there or come from there. I prefer going from top to the edge, so that way basically you're keeping everything in one direction. That's it. So you use this, and now your knife is ready. As you can see, it's a nice polish on the edge. And you can test it out. So here's a quick paper that I was using earlier on. As you can see, excellent sharpness without much of work. Same thing, I was showing you, it can accommodate such large kitchen knives as well. I sharpened this earlier on the same machine. As you can see, this is a Victorinox knife, chef knife. And the same thing that I was showing you early on with my trusty cold steel Night Force. I've owned this knife for almost, I would say, about 20 years now. Still works perfectly, as you can see. As you can see, the sharpness. Everything is done on this machine, nothing else. So as you might have imagined, just based on this demonstration, owning this for almost about a year now, I have sharpened probably about 50 knives and all my kitchen knives, and I have been extremely happy. For a newbie like me, this has changed my sharpening taken it on a completely different level, because initially, like I said, I always struggle with these kind of things. Never got a good enough edge that retained, but with this Worksharp stuff, I've been really happy, and been maintaining my knives, all of my knives and kitchen knives with this. And so in short, I will highly recommend this product, especially anybody who loves knives or was just looking for something in general to keep their even kitchen knives sharp. Even if you're not an outdoor person and do not own any hunting knives, but even for your just kitchen knives, I believe a sharp knife is a necessity. So I'll put a link down on where you can get it from Amazon. So if you use that link, it'll help out the channel as well. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and if you have any questions about this product or any of my other videos, please post a comment below, and I do look at them and reply as needed. So take care till the next one, and make sure you're subscribed and you're sharing with your friends, because I see on my matrix you had only about 10% of the people that are subscribed are viewing them. Most for 90% are non-subscribers that are viewing my videos. So, well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Have a great day.